Looking back to when 7.33 was first announced, I really did think that this was finally going to be the patch where TA spammers like myself reigned supreme yet again. I mean, the increase of early game kill value, giving back double ancient creep camps, and an overall nerf to all crowd control in the game. On paper, this patch sounded like an absolute dream, as if it was basically made for TA, and I thought to myself, holy shit, TA is finally back. She's actually back. I am so ready. I'm gonna grind, I'm gonna climb, and I'm finally claiming that immortal rank. And oh boy, was I wrong. Lanaya the Templar Assassin has always been my go-to pick when it comes to Dota. Ever since I laid my eyes upon her back in 2007 in Dota All-Stars, I just knew I had to one trick and main her. I have over 2,000 games across multiple accounts, have reached Grandmaster on 2 of them, and even got fucking tattoos of her on both my arms. So please understand how truly painful it is for me to say that in this patch, she is absolutely fucking trash. Okay, well, she's not that bad, but she does suck. And you might be sitting there asking, how on earth does TA suck, Blitz? She's been getting buffed non-stop every single patch. And although this is 100% true, these buffs unfortunately do not mean anything when compared to the overall gameplay changes they've also been adding to this very patch. Because the reality is, some of these general changes hurt TA so badly, it literally forced me to actually start learning other heroes. And trust me, you do not want to see me play other heroes. Look at my versatility. Look, I haven't seen this number go above 1 since 2016. But before we get into why I think she's utter garbage this patch, let's first talk about what TA's strengths are, what she excels at, and what separates her from the rest of the cast. Well, for starters, she has a shield ability that can block any instance of damage, so burst heroes like Puck and Zeus struggle a lot against her. She also possesses one of the fastest physical damage bursts in the entire game, allowing her to 100 to 0 enemies in almost an instant using her Melt Strike ability. And lastly, but most importantly, she's able to dominate and close out games before the enemy team can even retaliate. TA is the undisputed queen when it comes to ending games fast, surprisingly sometimes even before the 20-minute mark. Those 3 things are mainly the key strengths of TA, and honestly, if you sum it all up like that, she actually does sound like a pretty good hero, right? But now, what if I told you that in this patch, all of these things that make TA strong are now removed? Back then, whenever you saw a TA get picked on the enemy team, you needed to pick a hero with damage over time abilities like Viper or Batrider just to make sure that you can melt through her refraction. Otherwise, if nobody was able to, TA could just completely take over and win the entire game solo. But now, unfortunately for TA, believe it or not, every single hero in this patch can now be a Viper or Batrider. Blood Grenade. Ah yes, the amazing item that everybody loves, especially supports who are out of position trying to collect level 1 runes. Classic. This consumable is already considered to be a very strong item itself already, but on top of that, it also just obliterates TA's refraction in a matter of seconds. Just a single one of these things can tear through all 6 instances of TA shield, and for a whopping 65 gold. And yes, it still does work even through her BKB, which brings me to my next point. Now, don't get me wrong, I am aware that the BKB changes were a pretty big nerf for almost every single hero in this entire game, but the fact that refraction is still able to take magic damage now, even during the BKB active, just makes TA's situation to be a whole lot worse. BKB was such a crucial item for her, not only to avoid being CC'd, but mainly to avoid having her shield instantly pop by random abilities. Things like Radiance, Maelstrom, Urn, Witch's Blade, or various hero abilities all slowly wither down the shield without even realizing it. I honestly find myself to be using my Q just for the damage now, not even remembering that it actually even gave you a shield. Because by the time I remember, oh wow, look, I have a shield, and it's fucking gone again. But hey, she may not have a shield anymore, but at least she can still one-shot people, right? She can still one-shot people, right? So Vanguard's back into meta now. Yippee! Woo! Yeah! Woo! Even after taking several nerfs to the face, you actually still manage to see this item everywhere on everyone. I mean, the item basically makes you unkillable during the early game for just over the price of a single Mithril Hammer, and on top of that, can also be disassembled so that later on you can actually use these useful components to build various other items. I once fought a Void Spirit as TA that was so disgusting, he skipped Bottle, went for an early Vanguard, and then later on scaled it into an Octarine Core. I still remember that game very clearly in my head, and I have not played TA since. Which brings us to our last and final segment, which is TA's snowballing ability and why I think it is heavily nerfed this patch. First off, it's very important to know that TA is an early to mid game dominator who does not scale well into the late game. Her strategy has always remained the same, which is farm fast, kill fast, and try to snowball your lead into a victory as soon as possible. And the main way that helps her in doing that is by placing traps around the map and killing anybody that comes near them. TA was an exceptionally good counter against late game carries because they needed a lot of farm, and she could essentially deny all their farm by blocking all entry enemies to their own jungle. But now, not only is the map significantly larger, it also has a whole new area specifically for carries to farm safely in, giving a big boost to all late game carry heroes out there and a big old fuck you to TA, which makes me so mad, like, because like, why the fuck would you edit that? You know what? It's fine. I don't even care anymore. Yeah, you know what? I'm fine. I'm fine. You know what? I have accepted the fact that TA is no longer as good as she used to be. I've accepted the fact that I'm forced to learn and play other heroes. In fact, I actually like playing other heroes. Yeah, I really do. I've also accepted the fact that I am now 2k MMR lower than I once was. Fuck me, dude. Please, Valve. I'm begging you.